Yo, hello guys, so this is your boy Shieldcoomer, and today we're gonna be doing a priest key. In this case it's going to be Sanguine Depths, and this is one of my favorite keys, coincidentally. On season 1 this used to be a very hard key, and I don't know, usually I like things that are like a little bit harder, which is also what your mom said last I'm kidding, no. Usually I prefer like these difficult keys and stuff. I don't know, there's just something about it that kind of makes me try more and makes me feel more challenged, and that makes me just kind of like, it feels more rewarding when you do good. Anyway, this was weak, I think, right after the recent patch dropped and like the cap changes happened and stuff. I'm a little bit rusty with keys, I have to admit, pretty rusty, so this gameplay is probably not gonna be flawless. There's probably gonna be a lot of mistakes and stuff, but we still did pretty good in this key. So I'll go over what I did as always. I'll say why I did things that I did and things like that, and hopefully we'll cover everything.
Echoing thrust. Volatile trap.
As I said, like a little bit rusty, so I'm not really sure why I didn't use boon on the first pack. Like I should have booned on the first pack, to be honest. It just is what it is, you know. Can't always remember to do everything perfectly. In general, I think using your boon is always a good choice. The CD on boon, provided you are actually hitting all the targets that you need to hit, is most of the time about 1 minute. Let's pay attention. Like, let's see what my next, I think it was like 47 seconds or something, but usually it's like a minute or so combined with the Mykonos soulbinds. So because of that, we kind of want to use it as much as possible. It is our main damage tool. With it we can basically do around anything depending on the number of the targets and like whether you're potting, whether you have haste, what, you know, your stats and whatever else, how many targets there are. There's a lot of factors, but more often than not you can expect around 6-7 to 10k DPS plus minus, you know, few k. Once again, it depends how much healing you have to do, how much extra tasks you got, because for example this week my damage is gonna be pretty low, and the main reason for that is simply having to do a lot of explosives. And I did say to these guys that this is a pug team. I have no idea like who any of these people are. It was a good group. You guys will see. This tank was actually pretty good, and just in general I feel like everybody was dealing a lot of damage and stuff. It's like a full melee group. Well, actually it's not full melee, we have a hunter, so I don't know why I said full melee, and we have me, who's also not a melee. So I really don't know why I said full melee, but it is a bit, I feel like it's maybe a tiny bit unusual to have like 2 melees. Usually you more often than not see like 2 range than 1 melee. But maybe that's not even true anymore. I don't know. It doesn't matter anyway. It is what it is. But yeah, we managed to be pretty clean start. You know, do the standard skip here. One little priest thing you can do is you can like, I don't think you can suit anything here, but you can use your fade, which does reduce the threat range. So because of that, you're actually capable of walking near certain enemies, like closer than you might expect on the first glance, and that allows you to like do some quote-unquote skips that maybe some other classes would not be capable of. And you can see here, even with a scuffed boon where I didn't, like 2 novas weren't even capped, we got like 40 something seconds on the boon. So really neat, in my opinion. That is actually really good. Just use it. There's no reason to hold it. You can also combine it with your radiance if you need healing. You can combine it with rupture if you want giga healing. You can combine it with Shadow Fiend, and you can PI yourself, plus use a potion if you want to do big damage. Although I generally don't recommend it. I think as a group you get more damage if you PI certain targets, but like other than yourself. But you know, if you want to do more damage yourself, you can do that, or you know, just have some fun or whatever. Yeah, just in general, really good spell. Make sure you're using it as much as possible. Honestly, I'm not using it as much as I should, so you know, you can see how a lot of times it will be off cooldown and I just not use it. Sometimes I'm also reluctant to use it because I want to make sure I have it for certain things. So I'm not saying just use it without thinking, you know. Make sure you know what you're doing with your CDs and stuff. But it is overall pretty good to kind of use your CDs as much as possible in general. Like that is a general rule of thumb, just a pretty good thing in my opinion. Anyway, moving on to the boss here. Since it is Fortified week, like I wasn't too worried about this boss. Because these guys seemed good. People in my group. Krixis is sometimes pretty tricky, though. You guys gotta be careful with the Krixis as priests. We do have decent toolkit to deal with this boss. I feel like we have Rapture where we can shield people like prematurely, and like this. See for the orbs. And like Severing Smash, and just like, you know, that everybody's shielded, you can just full soak and there's no big, like nothing is really, nobody even came close to dying. It's pretty neat, right? And also like people should be responsible with their personal usage and stuff like that, like personal defenses. Just overall, there's a lot of good things you can do as a group to kind of mitigate the threat of these balls, but you can also kite, you can, you know, there's a couple, but as far as what we can do is, well, we can always pinch up the target if they wanna like solo soak it or something, you know, combined with the defensive. You can do what I'm just doing now, although this is in general not very good in like uncoordinated groups. Plus I used my barrier early, again premature. Just like last night with your, never mind. But yeah, I was a little bit premature again with the barriers, so you gotta be, you wanna avoid that in general. It's not a very, it's just not very smooth if you use it early. Like using it late, it gives people time to put orbs behind barrier, and then you can place barrier, and then you can stand in barrier to also mitigate damage during the soak. Because the damage actually, the damage you're concerned about is the damage from the soaks. It's not the damage from the like initial hit in the first place. But yeah, you can see like we did some decent damage in that fight. Nothing crazy, wasn't amazing, but we did okay. Right. This pack is kind of nice. I like this pull a lot, especially when you're line of sighted like this. One cool thing you can do is what I just did. You saw that big fear, like that's a big fear there. And now you have an AoE stun, and this nobody gets a cast off when you play like this. And then you only need 2 interrupts. These can even go off. It doesn't matter. But the pack is dead by now. If your group knows what they're doing, this pack should be dead. Just very cozy overall. This is one of the reasons why I actually kinda stay close to the packs most of the time. Yeah, it can be annoying to dodge frontals and stuff, and I don't, in general, I don't encourage this unless you're doing like higher keys, I guess, but I do think that staying close to the pack gives you some extra utility options, such as, for example, fear in this case. And also it lets you use a Shining Force, which of course allows you to knock things, and also you can interrupt with it. Chamber Sentinel, just be careful, don't get frontaled, don't get like swirlied, simple stuff. Make sure you take care of explosives. That's about it. Togadon, once again, there is not like, I don't know, I've never heard anybody have trouble with Sogadon, but just in case, like I will say that like one thing you can do here is you can time your radiances after his like slam. Not this one, the one where he does an AoE damage. I forgot what it's called even, to be honest. That's how irrelevant this guy is. It's like, we'll see now, I guess, when he casts Seismic Wave. Yeah, that's the one. So you can just time your radiance like this, and then do a panel, do like a Solace Mind Blast if you want to, and just chill, just, you know, just deal damage, honestly, on this guy. Make sure your tank is up, and then deal damage. Pretty simple stuff. Quite standard, honestly. Just a single target rotation. And here I like to get shields. I don't know, shields just feel the best for me. Combined with a shield shard, you actually build up some pretty nice shields, especially if you're using like Charitable Soul or something along those lines. You can build some pretty big shields, and having shields is always nice because it gives you freedom to play aggressive and just like allows you to take damage that you normally wouldn't be able to handle, and it doesn't force you into a situation where you have to heal, which is nice. So like you're not healing, you're just absorbing that damage, and that's kind of the whole team of Disc is kind of absorption, even though in M+ that's not really how we do things, because our absorbs are not enough in M+, but just in general, like, you know, the team of Disc has always been like shields and absorbs, and this is just like very in team with us, so I like it. I think everybody should take shields anyway. I think most people do, but not to say that others don't have some uses, I think. But that's just like, that's probably a hot take that, you know, we shouldn't talk about. I'm not really... I have not been playing that much lately, especially not high keys, and I'm just like... not super... I feel like it's weird for me to talk about this because I haven't tried things out, so like why would I talk about something I haven't tried out? Anyway, here I died. I mean, I wouldn't have died if I didn't get silenced, but of course the game silenced me, of course, and since we don't have decers in this group, I just waited it. So that's on me, honestly, for not predicting that, but I don't know. I thought I'd be fine, to be honest. It's my bad anyway. Like it is my bad. Just be careful, I guess. You guys already know that. And here I tried to eat actually. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure why I really insisted on eating here, because it really does, like, it doesn't even do that much for me. It gives me like a little bit of haste, which I'm overcapped anyway on. It's kind of like whatever, but yeah, I guess it's always nice to get some food. Anyway, Grand Overseer, you know the drill, guys. Like, I actually like to blast this guy. Some people like to focus the oppressors. I personally find that things work out better if like cleave classes just cleave on them and stuff, but that's, once again, it's DPS stuff. I don't really want to talk about it too much. I'm just saying, for me, I usually blast the big guy and then Nova the small guys, and yeah, just single target focus the big guy. Now this next room, it's easy to kind of underestimate it, but I definitely wouldn't recommend that. Now, ideally, if your group is being smooth with the run, so like to this point, you kind of have stacks here. You should have 10 stacks, so you're dealing 100% more damage. It's 100, right? On 10 stacks. Wait, I actually forgot now. It's 100, unless yeah, maybe, I don't know, it doesn't matter. It's not the point. Anyway, like, you deal a lot more damage. Like that's the buff from Lantern will carry you, so like you can kind of do a big pull here. I'm not sure why we didn't. Maybe the tank didn't feel comfortable or something, or to be fair, since we died, maybe it's for the best. Maybe we didn't have CDs on everybody and stuff like that. So it's totally fine. But I know for a fact you can do a big pull here with the pack on the inside and with Incinerator, or you can just skip both and just go for like the skip, but then you have to deal with Incinerator in a very awkward position, which I really do not like, and I think it's kind of overcomplicating things for no reason, in my opinion. Like, in general, especially as far as pugs go, I think the simpler you keep things, the better it is for everyone. Here, you know, just like I'm trying to bait here because Hunter isn't doing it for some reason. I guess he just didn't, like, maybe he forgot in the same way I did, maybe he just wasn't focusing or whatever. It's fine. I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to flame or anything. I'm just saying, like, I personally prefer when Hunters bait because they just have more mobility, but it's okay. We can bait as well. Like, the bait I'm talking about is the fire. It goes on the furthest person. So if people are stacked, and especially a group like this, he has a lot of melees. It is kind of good to have somebody stand away in order for the circle to not be on everyone. So like not everybody has to
Explosive
move,
vellum.
only the person that's on the outside moves. That's why I say like it's kind of nice when it's hunter, because he can
Barbed
just like move
shackles.
and cast still. Not always. I know some people will say, what about our, what's the spell called? Not auto shot. I don't know. They have that spell that they always complain about, that they have to move. That was the one that gets channeled. So I guess you know, in that case, I mean, tough luck.
Summon
But it's
enemy collector's
still
explosive
better
vellum.
than, you know, sometimes we have to heal a lot with Shadowland if group is taking damage and all that
Explosive vellum.
stuff. So as I said, like I prefer when the hunters are doing that. Here I'm just dealing with explosions. I'm trusting my guys to kill these on time. Just you know, doing some boons, you know, boon, and then radiance is kind of good. Shout out to some guy that actually mentioned that to me. I didn't know. This is it's very convenient. So like if you boon, blast, radiance, then you have blast, boon, boon, blast, boon, you know how it goes, and then you explode. It times it so that like your radiance is still on, not radiance, your atonements are still on from radiance, and it's just like a very nice explosion that heals a lot. So like it's kind of a good way to maximize HPS if it matters for
Severing slice.
whatever reason. And like in M+, usually if your HPS
Explosive
is
vellum.
like
Craggy
critical to
fracture.
the success, you're probably doing something fundamentally wrong as a
Stone
group.
skin. Summon enemy
Which is
collector's
okay.
explosive vellum.
It happens, but I'm just saying, like there's not there's few
Craggy
situations only in M+ where the
Severing slice.
HPS of a healer should make a difference. In most cases, it's mostly about cooldown usage and like
Craggy
us
fracture.
contributing to
Vellum.
damage and CC.
Stone
That's just
skin.
my opinion. It's could be wrong. Don't take this as a fact. It's just kind of how I see things. Like I never see somebody complaining about my HPS. You know, most of the time, it probably means that we're not dealing enough damage in the first place, so things are killing us before we kill them, or we are lacking interrupts, or CC, or we pulled more than we can handle,
Crushing
or
strike.
there's tons of
Explosive
reasons,
vellum.
but
Barbed
very
shackles.
rarely I would say it's a problem of like actually lacking HPS. But still, it's nice to be able to do HPS when it's needed, and there are some situations in which it's
Barbed
needed.
shackles.
There are some like AoE bosses and some stuff where you
Crushing
can't
strike.
do anything to avoid damage. Actually, a good example of that is Executor Torvald and Grand Proctor Berelia. Like they're both really good examples of this. It's kind of like it's not that you can't avoid damage in these two bosses, but there's like an unavoidable portion of damage where if you don't, like even if you do mechanics, you still take like significant amounts of damage, and if you don't use any healer CDs or like if you don't HPS pretty hard, people might be in danger of dying, and that's not something you want to get, you know, ever. Clearly, so yeah. Here Mr. Chigolo, you know, using his fuse magic, right? And I actually don't know what the other spell is called. Fortifying Brew, I think it's called, but I'm not sure. Just takes almost no damage. That's why I love monks. Monks are so fucking strong. Oh, damn, I said the fudge word. So good. But yeah, healing also the like rogue. He procced his cheap that, so it's kind of I don't know. Not sure if that's my fault or his. Or maybe it's nobody's, I don't know. I mean, it is there to be procced. I feel like I could have Shadowlanded a bit more, like earlier or something, but we still won. And as you can see, like, dealt some nice damage as well, like 5k. That's kind of what you usually get to on like a 1 minute boss fight where you use Shadow Fiend and Ascended Boon. You kind of get to like 5-6k HP, DPS. Which is pretty nice. It's not amazing, but it's decent. If the fight is shorter, of course you'll get higher, because we are pretty bursty in damage. Like with the boon, you can do about 10k for sure, and
Curse
then
of suppression.
Shadow Fiend, of course, deals quite a bit of damage as well, and then you know,
Curse of
filling it up
suppression.
with
Curse of suppression.
our standard spells like
Curse of suppression.
penances and smites.
Curse of suppression.
Just helps maintain that damage nicely, and once again, of course, I'm silenced, trying to save Hunter's life here. Pilipo, don't worry, boy, I got you. Actually, I'm not sure how he's called.
Remove it at the
It's really
source.
hard to see names on my frames, now that I think about it. Kinda like hard to read them. I think he has some J's and L's in his name. Anyway, moving on from that completely irrelevant information. Right. This Tormentor is a bit tricky on high keys. Still not like super dangerous. I would say Incinerator is the scary one, and the one with the fear. All the other ones are kind of easy, realistically. But here, this one I hate because we're slow already. Like, I guess if you're Goblin, you have it a little bit easier because you can just like jump away and stuff. But if you don't have any mobility and, you know, as Disc Priests we are pretty limited, then just make sure you're moving and dodging stuff. Make sure you're saving patterns for the moment you need to move, because you do need to do actually quite a bit of healing on the guy that's taking damage from the dot that gets put, like the circles. So just make sure, you know, you're ready for that. And here I took the 4 orbs. I don't really know. Hope I didn't yoink anybody's orbs. Like I always try to be like nice and stuff, but I also want to make sure I get my 4 orbs, because I mean, if I die as a healer during that time, it's actually pretty likely that somebody else will die, because there's a big damage incoming after that. And here Rogue died. It happens to the swirlies, because the swirlies, I will say this though,
Right of supremacy.
swirlies are actually bigger than they look in this game for a lot of abilities. This one I know they are, but there are some other abilities where they definitely are bigger than they look, and one of them is this one. And they can also be quite hard to see sometimes. So just be careful. Rogue died again. Like, wow. Okay, that's cool. It happens. Everybody makes mistakes, you know. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's got those days. Okay, sorry. I forgot that this will actually be uploaded to internet, so yeah, let's never do that again. I'm too lazy to cut it out of the video though, so you guys will just have to deal with it. I'm sorry. Anyway, just dodge circles. You can see how things got a bit spicy here for me. Tank actually healed me there pretty nicely. If he didn't, like, we could all, you know, you can see I use my defensives. We can use Kyrian file, which we didn't have at the moment, but you know, if we did, we could. We could also shield ourselves. We could use penance. There's a lot of things you can do. Don't panic. Just be ready to react. And here, I wanted to make sure I survive if the spell actually goes off. I didn't really trust these guys to finish this off, and as you can see, like, during this fight we finished on a pretty high HPS, like 6.3. That's like, it's not high, but it's decently high for like an M+ boss fight.
Shining radiance.
This pack, you know, avoid same as always, avoid traps, avoid frontals, avoid, you know, getting clicked by things. Yeah. Which is probably not gonna happen to you, because you know.
Curse of suppression.
I mean, if you're pulling some aggro as a priest healer, then you're probably like you probably have bigger problems than worrying. And here we engaged into a little bit of conversation with people. Disgusting. Let's see. I actually forgot. Do we skip here or not?
The Sanguine depths, and neither will you.
Alright, yeah, remember, Hunter will mess up the skip now.
Echoing thrust.
Yeah, but as you can see, like, we're doing really good on time actually in this dungeon. Like, it's looking really good. And there's just I feel like SD is one of those I feel like it's one of those dungeons nowadays where, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of maybe like Plagueful or something, where Like last season it was
Shining
not
radiance.
very easy, but this season it feels much easier. Like, don't forget, SD did get nerfed quite a bit, and then we got buffed, plus we got more gear. So it's like SD descaled while we scaled. So it's just natural that it's not, you know, it is a bit easier. That being said though, it's not a dungeon to underestimate, you still need to know what you're doing, but I'm just saying, like, I felt like this was a pretty cozy +2. We didn't really do anything special as a group. We did standard pulls, no big pulls whatsoever. Actually, we did like 2 big pulls the whole dungeon, arguably. I mean, I guess big pull is pretty subjective. Some people would call pulls we did small. Some people would say they're big. So like, I guess it's pretty subjective.
Summon
But
Anima Collector Stalker.
just in general, we didn't do anything super fancy, and we were still able to like +2 it pretty cozily. I don't know. Is that a word? Cozily. Cozily? Cozily? I don't know. It's a weird word to say. Cozily, like cozy, but cozily. I don't know. We timed it. That's what matters. You know, lantern pool. Actually, you have some CDs for this. I actually kinda... It's probably one of the parts that I'm not sure how to manage correctly. Like on Holy Paladin, I just passion here and I don't care. And then I use lantern because I'm enter. But on priest, it's kind of like you gotta use something on the first pull, but then you also need something for the lantern pull, because lantern pull is usually big and usually it requires some sort of defensive CDs that provide you survivability for you guys to stay in the lantern, right? Because like if the tank starts kiting and stuff, things get difficult and they get chaotic. So using lantern and just chilling there while your healer is, you know, doing some nice HPS is always nice. So that's one more situation where, you know, it's kind of important you heal nicely. And here, you know, just once again Kyrian boom.
Severing Slice.
I just feel like my DPS in general is like overall DPS. To be fair, this week, as I said, there's explosives, and I'm also really out of practice. Like, I haven't done serious keys on priest in forever. I've just gotten back to it, you know. But nobody wants priests nowadays. Nowadays, like, it's only shamans. Like, nobody cares about us anymore. Literally nobody takes priests, like, unless you have a pre-made group. I feel like it's really hard to find a spot. I really hate how people in high keys are like meta slaves. It's like priests are not the best, but they're not the worst either. And if you have a good player on priest, it's still better than bad player on shaman, in my opinion. But shamans and paladins are just like, okay, maybe paladins not as much. I'm not really sure about shamans either. Like, I can't say. I mean, I play a bit of shami, but it's not even level 60 yet, so like it's kind of unfair to judge. But I don't know, I just don't like when the class that's easy to play is good. And I feel like Shaman is one of those classes that's not very hard to play. But I could be wrong, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys hate Shamans? I hate Shamans. I said it. I hate Shamis. But yeah, as you can see, we have 4 minutes left to kill Khal on Fortified week, so just easy peasy. Lemon squeezy kind of thing, you know, just do some ascended blasts and some ascended novas. Just, you know, a little bit of bzz, 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 bzz action. And here, important to note, because we are slow as priests, so like, stay away from people that get Wicked Rush. And also, if you get Wicked Rush, make sure you're using your Angelic Feather. Because, I don't know if... I feel like a lot of people don't know this, surprisingly. Like, I thought it's a common knowledge, but apparently there's still a lot of people that don't understand this. You can actually dodge Wicked Rush completely. Like, you can dodge, pull the damage in the debuff. All you have to do is move. It sounds silly, but literally all you have to do is run in a single direction opposite of where the blade is flying. Like, the blade has 2 targets. Target A and target B. One is first, second one is second, right? That makes sense, I guess. If you're the first one, dodge when she starts flying. If you're the
Shining
second one,
radiance.
dodge a little bit later, because she will jump to first target, then she'll jump to second target. And see, I'll try to demonstrate here. I'm probably gonna, like, I might fail it. I don't actually remember. Yeah, no, I actually made it. So you can see it's that easy. Like, just run. I know sometimes it's tricky because there's like Wicked Rush overlaps and stuff. Sorry, not the Wicked Rush, the piercing thingy, blur, whatever the fuck it's called. But yeah, just like be careful, you know, and don't get like killed by others when you are dodging it, because they actually can deal damage to you even if you're not the target. Like, if you stand between two people that are getting hit, you're gonna get nuked. Happened to me multiple times. That's why I'm saying it. Like, don't do it. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I mean, I didn't do too hot here, but I did do a big job, I think, with explosives. Healing was decent enough, so +2 Sanguine M+20. Let me know what you guys think in comments, you know, subscribe, like, comment if you want to, I would appreciate it. And don't worry, there will be more keys incoming in the future. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you around. See you around. Oh, right. Yeah. One more thing. Yeah. I think I'm gonna show a breakdown here. Yeah, here are items for you know, people that care, and also conduits. Okay, now have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys. Bye bye.